What's up, guys? So last time you saw this coolant flange did not work. Well, today we're going to be fixing that. We're going to be installing a new cool pack, upgrading coolant hoses, and wiring the new ECU. So let's see if it all comes together. So as you guys saw last time, this coolant flange had a little bit of a clearance issue right here around cylinder 3's port. And once we got the carb assembly on, this lip here was actually hitting the bottom side of the carburetor bowl. Well, with the new KR style, now you can kind of see the difference between the two. This one's much longer and is at an angle, where this one is more straight. So we're gonna try this guy out and see how it fits with the carb assembly. That's why testing things are crucial before you go and spend too much money. This one's having some clearance issues too. So what we're most likely gonna have to do is come in here and try to remove some material right here and possibly even remove some material here on the manifold just so we can get this to line up. This is what happens when you have something that's custom made, which you would think with Dan ST, they would make it to where you could actually use your factory assembly. But hey, I got the tools to do it, so let's get into it. All right, so bad news. That did not work. The coolant flange just did not have enough material on it to even warrant taking any more off. So I left it be, and what I'm gonna do is, you can tell it's not completely matched to the gasket. So I'm gonna take a Sharpie here and match this to the gasket to see if that will give us enough clearance. Cause it looks like where our contact area was is right about here where there's all this excess material. All right, and we're back. Went ahead and took a bunch of material off the, about dropped it. Went ahead and took off a bunch of material here in the center. Now I'm just cleaning it up with some brake clean and a rag just to get any debris off of it so it's not going into the brand new carbs. You can see all that shiny bit here and here, right through there. Went ahead and took off probably about 1/4 of an inch all the way around this area here, just to free up some real estate for that coolant flange so we don't have to modify it anymore. But let's pop it on and see if it fits. And it fits perfect. We got a winner. All right, let me go ahead and grab the bolts for that and we'll go ahead and get it cinched on for good. All right, so here's a moment of truth. Let's see if the new style coolant flange is gonna work with the carb setup. All right, fingers crossed this works. Let's see. Ooh, it's close. It's very close. Let's see if we go a little bit further in. No, that just makes it tighter, so let's bring it out a little bit. How much do we have play with? Man, it's gonna be really tight, especially with the carbs living right there. I think we are gonna have to go with that base plate kit to get everything to fit. But for now, it fits, so that's a win. Keep trucking along and see what else we can get done tonight. All right, so now we're gonna get into the coolant hoses. I opted to go with the Autobahn Auto Works full silicone replacement kit. This comes with everything you need to change every single stock hose over to silicone, which is gonna last a lot longer and not degrade as fast. But we're gonna go ahead and switch all those over. There's a couple we're gonna leave off, like the radiator, because we still gotta swap the radiator out. So the radiator hoses, the upper and lower, not gonna put in yet, but everything else can go ahead and go in and stay in for good. Before I get ahead of myself, I wanted to show you guys the difference between the silicone and the rubber real quick. So just look how good this looks. All nice and new, both to the heater core. And then you come over here and you can see some of the old stuff. It's starting to swell real bad. It's been over tightened a few times, it looks like. Getting tired, and it's a good thing I'm replacing it. All right, so I made another boo-boo. I ordered the later style Mark IV coil pack, and my Autobahn Auto Works block-off plate uses the earlier style Mark IV 2.0 liter coil pack. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna model up an adapter plate. I flipped the whole bracket upside down to make it easier for me. So now the Mark IV later style coil pack will bolt in from the top, and then there will be an adapter plate that I modeled up in CAD that will stick on the bottom and capture these two bolts, and also capture the bolts that are on the block off plate itself. It's not ideal, but we're gonna make it work, and I think it'll look cool still, so we'll try it. All right, guys, so it's about midnight, and we ran into yet another coolant flange fiasco. The coolant flange that we ordered, the KR style, does not work.
Once you put the coolant hose on, it contacts that same exact bowl that we dealt with ABF style. Luckily, Dan ST, who we bought the carb assembly from, they do make a 45-degree option. So we're gonna go ahead and order that. That's gonna take about 28 days to get here, unfortunately, because of Royal Mail. In the meantime, we can go ahead and start working on the suspension. So in this video, you will see us pull out the old suspension, but you're gonna have to wait till the next video for the new suspension and sway bars to go in. All right, let's talk suspension. So as you guys may recall, we are working with SolarWorks for our coilovers this time, and ST for our sway bars. Currently on the vehicle is a cheap set from Amazon, but they do have PowerFlex bushings in them, so we're going to be transferring those bushings over to the new coilovers, and hopefully this really improves the ride. But let's go ahead and start tearing into it and take these old crappy coilovers out.
All right, so we're back in the garage. As you saw last night, we ran into some fitment issues, but we got that figured out. We're gonna order some new parts, get that handled. Today, we're gonna go ahead and pull the front suspension out and the front sway bar, and I'll show you guys the difference between the two sway bars. All right, so we made it over to the driver's side now. We're going to pull out this coilover and sway bar on this side. But first, I am terrified of spiders, so it's time to get rid of these guys. I think that will do. Now that we've killed all the black widows and all the nasty spiders. Oh, wait, missed one. Fucking hate spiders, but God, there's more. So gross. And almost catch my garage on fire. I think we're ready to pull out the coilover. All right, so we got the top pad off. Lucky for us, Autobahn Auto Works sent over their full suspension bolt replacement kit. So we're not gonna have to worry about any of these guys. Now I may have to add some camber bolts later, but luckily they offer those as well. Go ahead and take these two guys out, and then we should be able to pull the whole strut assembly out. Okay, so we got the coilover out. As you can see, we got some nice poly bushings. They're still in great shape. So I'm going to reuse these on the new kit instead of using the OEM style, just because I would think these will give it a better feel. I'm not going to bore you guys with doing both sides on the video. So we're going to go ahead and start working on getting this sway bar out so I can show you guys the key differences between the two. Did I mention I absolutely hate spiders? Being under this car is terrifying right now, because I'm just waiting to get attacked by a black widow. I hate spiders. Let's get this puny sway bar out. So bad news, I had the car jacked up on subframe, and I have to drop the subframe to get the sway bar out. So it's looking like this might be the end of this video. I'm not having much luck lately, but stay tuned. We'll see if we can get this guy back up and with the new sway bar in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys.